Alright, today we have some packages for the Corvette. I've opened a couple of these right now, just to make sure they're all in good condition, and if you can't tell, we're going to do some interior stuff. Let's get it. Alright, so first up we have a new double-din head unit, touchscreen of course. We've got the bracket, and then we have the RP5 GM11 radio harness. Second up, we have a new key fob. It's a new style. It says right here it'll work with the 2005 and 13s. We'll find out soon. This here is an LED light kit for the entire interior of the car. So I really look forward to that. And this right here is the new cover plates for the sun visors. We're only going to be doing the passenger because the driver actually is destroyed pretty much. So I'm still looking for an option on that. So first we're going to start with the key fob, and then we're going to go ahead and try to fix the sun visor, the passenger one. Then we're going to do the light kit, and then my absolute favorite, we're going to save the best for last, and we're going to go on ahead and do the new radio. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I just finished programming the key, and I've checked. It does unlock and lock the door. We're going to find out now if it starts the vehicle. My other key fob is way over there in the shed. So, here we go. Hey, nice. Alright, now all I have to do with this key fob is cut the key, which should be pretty simple. Unfortunately, this is key fob number 3. I know there is a process by which I can turn this into key fob 1 or 2 if I would like. I think what I'm going to do is program this as key fob number 2, and I'll keep the original as key fob number 1. Just because this doesn't have the Chevy logo on it or anything, the Corvette logo on the back. It is basically a third-party key, but it is much nicer than the one I have currently, which is way over there, and I'll grab that at some point. Now what we're going to do is we are going to fix this broken piece of junk there. I am kind of concerned. You can see that this is a little loose on the bottom, but it's not nearly as bad as this one, which is just completely broken. So yeah, we're gonna figure something out with that. What I'm trying to do is see if I can buy another one that has the HomeLink system. I know there are upgraded units that no longer have the HomeLink system. They say they're upgraded, they use a stronger plastic, better materials, whatever, but I'm debating on whether or not the HomeLink system is something worth keeping. So yeah, I'll get that done here in just a second. So I just got back into the car. I went to go grab a pick because that's the best way to get the old stuff out and the new ones in. But I just hit my head on this when I was getting in, and I think I just broke it even more. So I think it's literally held on by one little tab in this corner. So I think we're gonna end up going with new units for the both is the only way I really see this working out, because while it still functions somewhat fine now, unless somebody has any idea on whether or not I can get this repaired, I've been trying to do some research and it really doesn't seem like it, because it's held on by little plastic tabs that are basically like plastic welded shut on another frame inside here. So unless somebody has another option for me there, I'm just probably gonna have to go on ahead and get new ones. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to, at least for the passenger, but it looks like that's what's gonna have to happen. But now what we're gonna do is we're going to go on ahead and get this LED kit from Viper LED Lighting. They're on eBay. There was about $15. I've seen some pretty good reviews on this, so we're going to go on ahead, give this a shot, and get this in, get it started. It covers pretty much all of the lights, including these guys, the two that are in here for both of them, the footwells, even going as far as to do the one in the glove box, the trunk, and the license plate lights as well. I really think that the LEDs will give this a much more modern feel, especially when combined with the new head unit we're going to be putting in here, and the new key fob too. I think all of it will just really help bring this 2005 to more of a 2010 feel, I guess. But yeah, let's get started on the LED kit. Alright, that was a lot more difficult than it had any right to be, but now you can see it's LED versus, I want to call that halogen, but I could be wrong, and I think I am wrong on that. But let's go on ahead and get this cover plate back in there. This is extremely difficult to do with one hand. I just want to point that out right now. If I were a little better prepared, I would have, oh, that looks so much cleaner. It's so much brighter too, holy crap. Alright, time to do the other side. Alright, the driver's side was much easier. And it's hard to tell because it's still daylight outside, but I'll get back in it later tonight in a few hours, and you'll be able to see what a crazy difference that LED there makes. It's night and day. Obviously, I'm not going to do these ones because I'm replacing them. And I think the new ones actually come with LEDs as well. So we're going to go on ahead and get that done at some point. I'll order those today and they should come in by next weekend for sure. Time to get on to the footwells and the glove box. Actually, I should have done that while I was over there, but I didn't think of that. And at some point, I really want to replace this crusty switch because obviously it's no bueno. It's all scratched up and old, and yeah, so we're gonna make that better. And then I actually forgot to mention it, but this here is snapped. If you look right here, that's part of the plastic bracket. It's a little hard to tell on camera, but that's part of the plastic bracket right here, and the other half is in my hand. So I'm gonna see if I can actually fix that with a plastic welder. If not, then I'll order a new one. They're like $30. So yeah, I'll see you over there. You can see it better now that I'm over here and I've opened the door. Just where it's worn through and it's not nearly as good, it doesn't look super clean. So I'm gonna look into getting a new switch, maybe even just a cover, I don't know. I haven't really done any research on that, but we're gonna get looking into that here in a minute. But for now, I need to replace this guy, which is up there, which means I need to get down there. So you can see it right there. It's kind of gonna be a little difficult to get to, but between my pick and my skinny girlish hands, I'm sure I can figure this out. Alright, there it is. That one, I don't think any of these lights have ever been messed with, but because that one was a pain to get off. What I eventually used was this guy right here. Got in there, clamped it down, wiggled it back and forth, and popped out pretty easily. My pick was not working, but you can already see what a difference that makes, even though it's bright outside. Like, I can actually see inside the glove box, and before, it didn't even... Huge difference, night and day right there. That's freaking awesome. Now we're gonna go down to this footwell and that footwell. We're gonna replace those. Let's get it done. All right, so I moved over here to the driver's side because this one's a little easier to access. But that is my bulb. So yeah. All right, there's my LED. Nice and bright, and you can actually see the footwell, and no, that is not from the sunlight. This is from the sunlight. That is not. Well, I'm sure some of it actually is, but that's beside the point. We're moving on to the next side here to get the next one. All right. I forgot to grab my key from over here. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, why are you doing all the interior before you do the exterior stuff? And that's because this exterior stuff is right now kind of hard to find. I had a guy lined up to sell me exactly the pieces I needed, and then he kept flaking on me, and it was about 3 hours from my house. So obviously I was not happy to drive 3 hours only to be told, hey, today's not going to work out. And he wouldn't give me his address for next time. So yeah, that was fantastic. All right, I'm gonna get this one out too. All right, and there's my new LED. I had to pull the cover out of this plastic cover, whatever you want to call that. Now we're gonna snap that guy back in. Ooh, that is toasty. You can see it wasn't really a viable option to access the bulb from the top bit here, just because of everything that's in the way. In order to pop this back in, I think I need my other hand, so. All right, and there is that LED. That one was definitely much more difficult than the drivers, but I think it's just because the Christmas tree clips that hold up this plastic cover have probably never been moved. Ever, I would say. So, much better. Now, we do still have quite the number of LEDs chilling in here. So, I think the trunk is still covered with parts and whatnot. We're going to go ahead and do the trunk ones next. And then I'm actually not sure what all these tiny ones are for here. So I'm probably going to watch a video or something, because the instructions are garbage. They don't tell me what's what. All right, so something I just found out, which is very interesting, is this key I just programmed doesn't open the trunk, but it allows the car to start, and it'll lock and unlock. Here's the original. One click, open. So that's something I need to figure out. I just popped this out here. It's just it's got a little metal clip, basically spring loading it. I really look forward to putting these LEDs in, but I'm not so sure I can do that with one hand. So I am probably gonna have to pop this out. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to take the camera off. Okay, it's back in. I made sure it's nice and tight. It's not wiggling or popping out or anything. Now I just need to make sure that that all goes back into its rightful place. Okay, now that, compared to that, I would say is a huge improvement. All right, now it's time to get into my favorite part of this work today. This here is the head unit we're going to be going with. Of course, that is the bracket that everybody uses for their Corvettes. Now, this head unit is the Joybring, whatever it's called, the Joy W005, because I am cheap. It was $150. They had a coupon going on for like $30 off. It was actually a really good deal. I've heard a lot of really good things about this head unit. I'm sorry to all those Corvette fanboys and purists who only go with Sony, but I am going to go with this. Now, the only issue that I have with that is going to be the wiring harness here. I'm not sure what I'm going to set the little computer programming thing to, because it'll have to be other, I guess, is one of the options. But we'll get into that later. For now, we're going to go on ahead and start, there it goes, pulling all this up and getting this out of the way. For those of you who do not know how to do this, there are a ton of videos on there. This is not a how-to video. Please don't take it as a how-to video. This is just me doing all the work, getting it done. Now, a lot of people take this off because it makes life easier, so I hear. Initially I wasn't going to, but I figured, you know what, why not? It's only 4 screws. And I actually needed to tighten these anyways. They were a little loose. Just kind of being problematic, letting the lid shift and not letting it, because it was shifting, it didn't want to open properly all the way. So those were T15s. I believe these two are T15s as well. If not, they should be, yeah, 7 millimeters. Alright, so I'm going to just remove this. I don't think I need to unplug it though. Just trying to get it out of the way there. Oh, that sucks. That's plastic from the dash bezel. Right here. Right here. Fun. Okay. Well, what can you do, really? It's broken. Holy, this thing is an absolute unit. 2005 technology. Look at that. Look at that. That thing is massive. Look at that. This thing, this is my hand. It's massive. It's got a cool inspection sticker up here. That says 1217, that says SB, and that says 4. GM approved. 121604. That's pretty awesome there. But this thing is kind of busted. It's also, for some reason, really warm. So we're just going to set that outside. And now I've got this massive cavity here. So that's fun. All right, now what I'm going to do next is we're going to get the wiring harnesses actually wired. So this is the PAC wire right here. This is the one that came with the radio. So we're going to get these soldered up, and then from there we'll use all of the other fun stuff that it gives us and figure out which programming setting. We'll use that in the chime module and everything and get that all set up. All right, so we got the wiring set up. There are a few things that concern me, but the radio, the head unit, is working really well. We've tested the music, but we can't obviously put it on for copyright reasons. The head unit does need a software upgrade, and it needs to actually be installed. But other than that, everything's working really well. We gotta obviously put the chime module somewhere where it won't rattle around and whatnot. And I mean, look at all these wires. Look at this crap. Look at the crap I had to go through.
Spiderweb wires.
But it all works and it sounds really good. And now we just gotta put it back in. So yeah. All right, so we're back here inside the Corvette. I'm continuing to work on the interior and the head unit and whatnot. I went ahead and bought one of these little microphones because the one that comes with the head unit isn't the greatest. I've done some testing with that and I figured out where I'm going to go on ahead and put it. Just got to get that done. At the moment, what we're going to be doing is actually replacing these sun visors because obviously they're trash. And at this point in time, last I mentioned them, I didn't have any, and I was going to go aftermarket. I actually found a pair of OEM ones from a 2010 ZR1, and from my understanding, everything should work very well. These look brand new. They're a little dirty now just from when they were transported over and everything, but I must say they're in phenomenal shape, and they're on secure and good, and all is well. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to put the camera down, but long story short, there's a little notch here in this little thing. You stick a small screwdriver up in there. I'm trying to use a pick. It's obviously not working. And then you'll just use this as leverage, and it'll pop down, pull out, undo the clip, put the new one up in there, twist it, and it's done. So I'm gonna do that to both of them, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the old one off. It's here in my hand. And what I figured was I would probably be much better off replacing these with the LEDs that I have while it's off of the vehicle. From the Viper LED lighting kit, it came with LEDs for the sun visors. So I figured I would go on ahead and do that now while it's off. I made sure that it works. I plugged it in to the plug and everything, and it lit up and everything was great. It works. I don't know about the HomeLink system because I haven't actually tested the old one on my garage door yet either, but I will assume that works for now. I really hope it does. That would be awesome. But for now, we're going to go on ahead and replace these with the LEDs. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not upgrading these to LED. It's not happening. This is already, unfortunately, broken again, and I broke the bulb twice. Things didn't go as planned because I had to dig out the tiny piece of glass, and it was a whole fiasco, and it wasn't worth it. So unfortunately, I'm not upgrading that to LED. I would really love to. Trust me, I want to desperately, but I can't. It's not worth it. It's just not. So this is installed. It works, it's back, it's fantastic. All right, that install went much smoother than the driver's side did. Thankfully, everything seems to be functioning properly. That's a little... That's funny. But that's, as you can see, the collar's not turning with it. It's staying in place. So thankfully the passenger side went pretty well. Now what we're going to do is going ahead and move on to cleaning up all this mess, getting that all sorted, and then ideally we'll get the entirety of the interior done. Aside from this boot, which is unfortunately broken, the bracket is just non-existent. So I still need to order one of those. But other than that, we should be able to button up the interior today. And unfortunately, obviously, those are not going to be LED sun visors. I went through so much trouble, and I'm not doing that again. So, yeah. All right. I'm here, I'm starting to button up the dash, center console, infotainment center, all of that fun jazz. So I went ahead and installed a secondary aftermarket microphone for the head unit. I tested it both with and without, and the sound quality is about 10 times better with this. This was like $9 on Amazon. I went ahead, I routed it down and just kind of shoved it in here into the crack for the pillar trim, and then I was able to feed it back through here down into the dash, dropped it down there, and I fed it back up, and then there is, all of that ducting for the AC. I just went above and over that slightly, and there's a ledge right about here. There's a gap inside here that I could reach my hand down in. I had to fish around a bit, but I found it, pulled it up through, and attached that. So now I have the backup camera. It's wired. I just need to run the wiring. It goes down there. We'll figure out what to do with that at some point. But the microphone's wired. That's wired. The radio itself functions beautifully, but I've only had it installed for a few days now. One thing they don't tell you though is that the Bluetooth music and the Android Auto, which they call Phone Link for whatever reason, are two very separate things. So both of them connect via Bluetooth, but they register basically as separate devices. It's weird. I don't know. Now all that's left really, that I've screwed these in and buttoned that up. I want to fix this foam a little bit. I'll get some double-sided adhesive or something there here in a second. But from there, it's just clipping all of the electrical connections back together, putting it in, screwing it in, and then I have one of these on the way. So we'll go from there. And then I'm going to go on ahead and run the backup camera, and we'll see how that works. And the interior will mostly be done. Look at how clean that looks. That looks good. That looks really good.
Okay. Camera is wired up. There's my nice little bundle. Goes through the thing. I use these little guys. The tap splices. I had to do a little bit of finagling because these wires from the camera are really tiny, but it works. Sis, if you could put it in reverse.
You're in reverse. Your knees.
Oh, that's my knee. Look at that. The camera quality is garbage right now because it's dark and my lens is dirty, but that's my hand saying hello. It works phenomenally. And I'm gonna just keep this bundle tucked away down here, and we'll set the cover back into place and the light back into place, and then call it a night. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next time. In the next video, we're gonna go ahead and put the inner fender well on. I jumped around a little bit, unfortunately, and I've already actually taken the old one off. You'll see that in the next video. Until then, stay tuned, hit the like button, subscribe, whatever. See y'all next time. Bye.